What do you do when fear grips your chest, when darkness surrounds your mind, and when everyone around you walks away? You turn to the Word. And there is one psalm, just one, that will ignite fire in your soul like never before. It's Psalm 27. And if you wake up with it, speak it, believe it, and live it, your life will never be the same again. Dash, let me speak this over your life today, not as a motivational speaker, but as a prophetic voice. This is your psalm. This is your morning. This is your moment of revival. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Psalm 27:1, when life feels like a storm, you can't calm when the shadows creep into your thoughts, when you wake up and feel the weight of uncertainty pressing down on your chest. This is the moment to remember that God is not silent, and his word still speaks, not with faint whispers, but with roaring promises that shatter the darkness. The Lord is my light. Let that truth settle into your soul like oil on dry skin. Not just any light, MY light, not the world's temporary light, not the flickering light of people's opinions, not the artificial light of money, popularity, or control, but divine, sovereign, unwavering light. This light does not dim when your mood changes. This light does not falter when your bank account dips. This light does not vanish when people walk away. This light is eternal because it is God himself. So why fear the night when you are held by the one who created day and night? Why fear the valley when you walk with the one who formed the mountains? Why tremble before men when you serve the one who holds the universe in his hand? Fear is a master manipulator. Fear whispers lies. It says, you're not enough. You'll never get out of this. You're alone. But Psalm 27 isn't a suggestion. It's a declaration, a decree from heaven. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Not when will I fear, but when will I fear? But double sham shall I fear? The question is not rhetorical. It's spiritual. It's a challenge to every demon, every doubt, and every discouragement. If God is with me, who can be against me? This kind of confidence doesn't come from self-help. It comes from the throne room. It comes from deep relationship with the God who saves, not once, but continually. Salvation is not just for eternity, it's for today. God didn't just save from hell. He saves from fear. He saves from depression. He saves from anxiety. He saves from addiction, from insecurity, from the fear of rejection. The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? That means he's the fortress, the refuge, the unshakable tower. In a world full of fake foundations, he is the rock that doesn't move. So when your heart trembles, go back to the stronghold. When your knees buckle, lean into the stronghold. When everything around you seems to collapse, declare this: I am not standing on sand. I am standing on salvation. It is not pride to be fearless in Christ. It is obedience. He has commanded over and over again, do not be afraid. Not because fear won't try to enter, but because faith is stronger than fear when the Lord is your light. Picture it for a moment. Imagine waking up tomorrow, not led by stress, not overwhelmed by the day, but anchored in this reality. God is already there. His light is already shining into what you haven't even faced yet. You're not walking into darkness. You're walking with the light. The world may try to convince you that fear is normal, that everyone panics, that anxiety is the default. But heaven says otherwise. You were not created to shrink. You were not made to hide. You were born for boldness, built for battle, and backed by the light of the world. So walk like it, talk like it, pray like it, live like you have nothing to fear because you don't. Fear loses its grip when faith rises in your heart, and faith comes by hearing the word. Psalm 27 is not just poetry, it is prophecy. It is the battle cry of the fearless. The Lord is not just a light to see, he is the light that leads. He is the light that covers. He is the light that blinds the enemy and illuminates your path. Let his light shine into every room of your heart, every corner that's been darkened by disappointment, every hallway that echoes with the footsteps of past pain. Let his light cast out fear and replace it with fire. You are a child of light. You do not belong to the shadows. Even when you don't feel it, the truth still stands. Even when fear tries to knock again, don't answer, because the light is on and fear cannot dwell where the light lies. So today, declare it. with trembling hands, with breaking voice, with worn out knees, declare it anyway. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Say it until your mind believes it. Say it until your heart grabs it. Say it until fear runs. Say it until darkness dies. Say it until your soul roars with holy confidence. You are not afraid. You are not abandoned. You are not defeated. You are covered. You are carried. You are crowned. Because the Lord, yes, the Lord is your light. When the wicked advance against me to devour me, it is my enemies and my foes who will stumble and fall. Psalm 20:72, there is a spiritual war raging, and whether seen or unseen, every believer is in the center of a battlefield. But this is not a battlefield of flesh and blood. This is a battlefield of faith. There are moments when it feels like life is closing in from every side. The enemy doesn't always come wearing horns. Sometimes the enemy comes as stress, as betrayal, as delay, as sickness, as anxiety whispering in the silence. But here's the truth you must tattoo upon your spirit today. When the wicked advance against me, I will stumble and fall. Not you. You are not the one stumbling. You are not the one collapsing. You are not the one devoured. The attack was formed, but it will not prosper. The arrows were launched, but they will not hit their mark. Because the word has gone out before you like a shield. There is divine reversal written into the spiritual DNA of this psalm. The very ones who rise up to destroy, you are the ones who will fall in front of you. Not by your hand, but by God's justice. Look closely at the verse again. It doesn't say if the wicked advance. It says when, which means the attack is expected. The resistance is guaranteed. But so is your victory. You are not promised a life without warfare. You are promised strength in the storm, protection in the presence of your enemies, favor in the face of opposition, fall-proof faith when the enemy wants you paralyzed by fear. The wicked will advance, the trap will be set, the pit will be dug, but it will not catch you because the enemy always forgets God fights for his own. There is a hedge around your destiny. There is a wall of fire around your calling. And what God has anointed, no demon in hell can abort. Even when it feels like evil is gaining ground, even when people rise against you, lie about you, betray you, mock you, try to bring you down, take heart. They will stumble. They will trip on their own schemes. They will fall into the very pits they dug. Because vengeance doesn't belong to you. It belongs to God. And he does not miss. Do not lose sleep over those who wish to see you fail. Do not waste tears on voices trying to curse what God has already blessed. Do not waste energy trying to explain your journey to people who were never called to walk it. Let the Lord fight your battles. Let the word defend your honor. Let the truth silence every lie. Your stability is supernatural. You're still standing not because you haven't been attacked, but because God kept you through it. Some were expecting your breakdown, but they witnessed your breakthrough. Some were watching for your fall, but they're about to see your rise. You are still here. You are still breathing. You are still praising, not because life has been easy, but because grace has been sufficient. Not because people have always supported you, but because God never left your side. The battle was never about what you lost. The battle was about what you were about to gain. And the pressure you feel is proof that the enemy knows something's coming. That's why he's advancing. But it's also why he's about to fall. Because every time he attacks a child of God, he writes his own defeat. Every time he pushes, he reveals his desperation. Every time he accuses, he shows how close your breakthrough really is. The enemy doesn't fight what doesn't threaten him. So if you're under attack, take courage. It's a sign you're advancing. It's a sign your calling is shaking hell. It's a sign your purpose is disrupting darkness. It's a sign that God's promises over your life are beginning to manifest. Let this settle deep in your bones. You don't need to be afraid of what's coming against you, because what's for you is greater. It is my enemies and my foes who will stumble and fall. Not maybe, not sometimes. They will, and when they fall, you will rise. When they retreat, you will recover. When the dust settles, you'll still be standing, hands lifted, eyes fixed on the one who never failed you. Don't stop praying. Don't stop believing. Don't stop praising. Because this battle ends with God's glory. This war ends in worship. this chapter ends in victory. There is power in trusting that you don't have to fight like the world fights. You don't have to clap back. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to defend your name. God will do it. He will rise on your behalf. He will silence every voice that speaks against his chosen. He will cause every demonic force to collapse under its own weight. So walk forward with boldness. Stand firm in faith. Keep your eyes on the throne, not on the threat. Because the Lord is not just watching, he is intervening. And the enemy, who thought this was his moment of triumph, is about to witness the glory of God fall all around you. When the wicked advance, they will stumble and fall. That is not a wish. That is not a maybe. That is a promise sealed by heaven, written in blood, backed by fire. You will not fall. One thing I ask from the Lord, this only do I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze on the beauty of the Lord and to seek him in his temple. Psalm 20:74, when life pulls in 1,000 directions, when burdens are stacked like bricks on your chest, and when the noise of the world becomes louder than the whisper of peace. This is the question that confronts the soul. What do you really want? The answer to that question reveals everything. It exposes priorities. It uncovers the true treasure. It reveals whether the heart is chasing the temporary or anchored in the eternal. And in this sacred verse, the heart of Psalm 27 is revealed, not in fear, not in warfare, not in defense, but in desire. One thing I ask, this only do I seek. Not two things, not a list, not a backup plan. One thing. This is the cry of a soul that has seen too much, been through too much, and tried too much. A soul that has tasted what the world offers and realized only one thing truly satisfies: to dwell with God, not visit, not check in on Sundays, not occasionally peek in during crisis, but to dwell, to make his presence home, to breathe the air of heaven while walking through the dust of earth, to be saturated, surrounded, and soaked in the presence of the Lord. Everything else fades. Everything else crumbles. Everything else rusts, wrinkles, and runs out. But the beauty of the Lord, it remains, it radiates, it revives. The psalmist doesn't ask for comfort. He doesn't plead for riches. He doesn't beg for position, approval, or revenge. He asks for presence, because in the presence of God, the storms calm down. In the presence of God, the questions lose their power. In the presence of God, identity is restored, peace is multiplied, and direction becomes clear. That's why the cry is not just, let me dwell. It's, let me gaze. Let me see you. Let me behold you. Let me soak in your glory. Because there's something about beholding God that transforms everything you believe about life. To gaze on the beauty of the Lord is not about seeing with natural eyes. It's about perceiving with the Spirit. It's about becoming what you behold. It's about locking eyes with the one who formed you before the world began. And realizing in that moment, this is enough. That's why this verse is not passive, it's pursuit. To seek him in his temple. Not just receive, but pursue. Not just wait, but worship. Not just know about God, but draw near to dwell with him. There is a place in God that shallow Christianity cannot reach. There's a depth that entertainment cannot fill. There is a realm where the fake falls off, where titles no longer matter, where opinions are silenced, and the only thing left is the awe of God's presence. That's the place this verse invites the soul into. That's the place revival begins. Not with a crowd, not with a platform, but with one person saying, God, I want you more than I want anything else. More than answers, more than applause, more than even the outcome. I want your nearness. And this is the secret. Those who dwell with God are never dry. They may go through fire, but they won't burn out. They may walk through the valley, but they don't faint. Because their roots are not in external things. Their roots are in the secret place. They are anchored in glory. They don't just visit God's house. They live there. They don't just worship in front of people. They worship in private when nobody's looking. They don't wait for the next conference, the next prophet, the next breakthrough. They've already found what matters, and it's him. This is what changes lives. Not religion, not performance, but pursuit, a holy obsession with the presence of God, because when the presence becomes the priority, everything else realigns. That anxiety begins to shrink. That bitterness begins to dissolve. that fear loses its grip. Because when your heart is gazing on the Lord, your spirit gets recalibrated to truth. That's why this prayer isn't shallow, it's deep. This isn't the prayer of a casual believer. This is the prayer of someone who has decided, if I have nothing else, but I have him, I have everything to dwell all the days of my life. Not just in crisis, not just in blessing, but every day, in every season, in the ordinary and the overwhelming, in the mountaintop and in the mud. Lord, let me dwell with you, not because God needs it, but because the soul does, because nothing else will satisfy, because no other place will give true rest. God's presence is not a luxury, it is a necessity. So today, let this be the cry that rises from the depths of your soul. God, I don't want more things. I want more of you. I don't need more control. I need more surrender. I don't want to visit your presence. I want to live there. Let everything else fall away. Let every distraction die. Let every idol crumble until one thing remains, one thing burns in the heart: to dwell, to gaze, to seek, to stay. Because the beauty of the Lord isn't something you observe from a distance. It's something you're invited into. And once you taste that glory, you'll never want anything else again. Wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart, and wait for the Lord. Psalm 74, waiting is one of the hardest things for the human soul to do. It challenges pride, tests faith, and exposes what the heart is really anchored in. To wait is to trust. To wait is to lay down control. To wait is to admit that your timeline is not God's timeline. And that is one of the most humbling and holy realizations a person can come to. Psalm 27 began with bold declarations. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? But it ends here, not with noise, not with fighting words, but with stillness. It ends with the hardest command of all: wait for the Lord. Because after the battles, after the enemies fall, after the shouting ends and the dust settles, what comes next? Waiting. And this kind of waiting is not passive. It is not sitting on the sidelines, twiddling thumbs and wishing things would move faster. It is active trust. It is spiritual warfare in stillness. It is standing your ground in silence while heaven moves on your behalf. To wait for the Lord is to say, I don't see it yet, but I believe it's coming. My heart is tired, but my hope is alive. I've prayed and I will keep praying. I've praised and I will keep praising. I've cried, but I haven't quit. Waiting reveals your true strength, not in what you do, but in who you trust. That's why the psalm says, be strong and take heart, because waiting can wear you down. Waiting can make even the most faithful feel faint. Waiting can cause doubt to creep in and questions to pile up. But this is where strength rises, not from self-effort, not from striving, but from surrender. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. Isaiah 4031, there is supernatural strength available for those who refuse to move ahead of God, those who don't let impatience become idolatry, those who don't let delay become defeat. There is power in patience when patience is rooted in God's promise. Because while you're waiting, He's working. While you're resting, He's rearranging. While you're worshiping, He's winning battles in realms you can't even see. Do not mistake silence for absence. God is never idle. He is always up to something good, but He often moves in ways that are unseen before they are manifested. And that's why the enemy loves to attack in the waiting, because the waiting room is where destiny either develops or dies. It's where faith either flourishes or fades. But the word says, be strong and take heart. This is not just a gentle encouragement. This is a divine command. It's a call to war, not with weapons of flesh, but with unshakable endurance. It's a call to dig in, not give up. It's a command to stay planted, not pull back. Because the breakthrough isn't in the striving, it's in the staying. The miracle isn't in the rushing, it's in the resting. The victory isn't in the pushing, it's in the praising. Be strong, even when you feel weak. Take heart. Even when you're heartbroken, wait for the Lord. Even when everything in you wants to run ahead, God is never too early. He is never too late. He is always right on time. But here's the mystery. God doesn't just develop the blessing while you wait. He develops you. He's shaping your character. He's strengthening your character. He's strengthening your resolve. He's deepening your faith, because the person who receives the promise must be prepared to carry the weight of it. And that takes time. Waiting is preparation, not punishment. Think of Joseph in the prison, Moses in the wilderness, David in the caves, all of them anointed, yet waiting. All of them called, yet hidden. All of them chosen, yet challenged. But every one of them saw the promise because they waited on the Lord. So today, don't curse the wait, bless it. Don't despise the silence. Lean into it. Don't run from the process, surrender to it. Because waiting doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means everything is being aligned. It means God is setting the table in the presence of your enemies. It means the foundation is being strengthened for what's about to come. Be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord. This is a command for warriors. This is a command for worshipers. This is a command for the wearied, the wounded, the waiting, and the faithful. Let it echo in your spirit like a holy anthem. I will wait. I will wait even when others run ahead. I will wait even when the doors seem closed. I will wait even when time feels like an enemy. I will wait because I trust the one I'm waiting for. He's too wise to be early. He's too faithful to be late. And when he comes through, it will be perfect. So stand tall in your season of waiting. Don't bow to the pressure. Don't give in to the fear. Don't abort the process. You are not forgotten. You are being formed. And soon, very soon, the one you've been waiting for will come through. Psalm 27 is not just a morning reading. It's a spiritual sword. It's a declaration of war against fear, doubt, anxiety, and despair. So start your day with it. Speak it over your family. Speak it over your finances. Speak it over your future. Don't just read the word. Become the word in action. Right now, I challenge you. Take Psalm 27 and make it your personal prophecy. Declare it every morning for the next 7 days. And watch what God will do. You are not alone. You are not defeated. You are covered, called, and chosen. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear?